Bonjour à tous. À l'occasion de la béatification de Pauline Jaricot, ici à Lyon, nous retrouvons le cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Bonjour, Éminence.
Bonjour, bonjour.
On est très heureux de vous retrouver. Nous sommes ici à Valpré où se tient l'Assemblée générale des œuvres pontificales missionnaires, en même temps que cette béatification de Pauline Jaricot. Peut-être que je peux redire quelques mots sur, très bref sur votre parcours. Vous êtes théologien philippin. Vous êtes un spécialiste du Concile Vatican II et de la collégialité épiscopale. C'est Benoît XVI qui vous a nommé archevêque de Manille en 2011, créé cardinal en 2012, et François vous a appelé à Rome pour être préfet de la Congrégation pour l'évangélisation des peuples depuis 2019. Vous êtes également président de Caritas Internationalis depuis 2014. Alors d'ordinaire, le pape envoie le préfet de la Congrégation pour la cause des saints pour présider les béatifications. Pourquoi c'est vous qui présidez cette béatification de Pauline Jaricot, cette figure lyonnaise, cette femme du 19e siècle?
Oh, well, the Holy Father gave this sort of permission. He asked me because of the role of Pauline Jaricot in the development of the pontifical mission societies, especially the propagation of the faith. And since the General Assembly of the National Directors will be held here to coincide with the beatification, the Holy Father had this idea. And also the Archdiocese of Lyon, and also the Congregation for the Causes of Saints, they said, maybe the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples is the better figure to do it. So it is not because of me, but it's because of the mission and the role of this great woman in the history of the Church.
Oui, parce que Pauline Jaricot, elle a fondé l'œuvre pour la propagation de la foi. Il s'agissait de donner un sou pour la mission et puis en même temps le rosaire vivant, cette invitation à prier pour la mission, prier le chapelet à plusieurs, à 10.
Yes, and it may sound like an old thing that she did, but it is very relevant for our time. We see how in Pauline Jaricot, the faith is an energy, the source of energy. And at a time when many people are questioning their faith, or some people don't see the value of faith, maybe Pauline Jaricot has something to tell us, that faith does not destroy your being a human person. Her faith opened a lot of energy for her. She got out of herself. She had so many health problems. She had family issues which could have brought her attention only to herself. But no, it was her faith in Jesus that made her get out all the more. And her caring for the poor. Look, her first initiative was not with the mighty and the and the rich, but with the simple people. How much can you give? The offering of a poor person, which becomes wealth when shared with other people. This is one thing that we learn, especially nowadays when we plan, we tend to plan big. But with Pauline Jaricot, we see that you start with personal friendship.
Elle est née riche, elle est morte pauvre. Yes. Et je ne sais pas si on peut dire que c'est une réussite sociale.
Yes, yes. And imagine if she did not have faith, she could have given up and said, I am wasting my time. I'm wasting my money. You know, but she found meaning even in her poverty. She found meaning in her difficulties. So in the end, she has given all. It was given all. Nothing was left to her. And we hope that her greatness would be rediscovered through this beatification.
Je voudrais que justement, à partir de Pauline Jaricot, mais au-delà, on regarde avec vous l'état de l'Église à travers le monde, et notamment de la mission, bien sûr. Mais pour commencer, Pauline Jaricot, c'est une Française de cette période de l'Église en France du 19e, qui connaît un renouveau, un dynamisme missionnaire. Quel regard vous portez sur l'Église en France aujourd'hui?
Aujourd'hui, yes, yes. Wow, that is an important question, and not only for the Church of France today, but the churches all over. No? First of all, I should say that coming from the Philippines, I am very much touched and very much inspired to see young French people going to Asia for volunteer work. I see French families living in poor areas in order to be of service. I don't know if they knew Pauline Jaricot. I don't know if they had her in mind. But I want to believe that that spirit in Pauline Jaricot is still part of the church in France. Maybe in a different form, maybe not in the same intensity as it, but it is there. And I want to encourage the people of France to appreciate that.
C'est ce que la France peut apporter à l'Église universelle?
Yes, 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 yes. It is, there is part of the tradition of France, no? To be open to the world.
Il y a 1,3 milliard de catholiques dans le monde aujourd'hui, un nombre qui est en augmentation sur tous les continents, sauf en Europe. Qu'est-ce qui fait défaut au vieux continent pour vous aujourd'hui? Est-ce que c'est une question de contexte, justement? Comment changer le contexte?
Yes, 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 yes. Here is, some people will get depressed when they look at the context, no? But maybe it is a time also, especially in the so-called traditionally Christian countries, to look at the trends in thinking, especially among the young people, and to see what are they looking for? Why is the form of church that they used to see not responding to their deepest longings? No? And then when you turn to countries that are, well, less Christian at the time, there seems to be an openness. So we also ask, what do they see in Christianity that responds to their needs?
C'est très vrai en Asie, où le christianisme est signe de liberté, par exemple.
Yes, yes, yes. And even if by numbers, the number of Christians in Asia is still small compared to other parts of the world, but by percentage of growth, last year, 2021, the biggest numbers of baptisms in the world were in Africa and in Asia. So they in their context of poverty, search for dignity, they see in the gospel of Jesus a response. They see a liberating element in the person of Jesus. And if in Asia and Africa we ask that question, what is the figure of Jesus that responds to their needs? Maybe in Europe, that should also be asked. No? What are the needs of people in rather affluent societies? And how can the church present a vision of faith? No? And then also it is a time for self-examination. Maybe we must humbly admit that the church needs renewal, the church needs transformation, so that the church could be more consistent with the message that we proclaim. We always say that we are not, every person and every institution is not always consistent with the message that they proclaim. And that is true also of Christians and of the church. So it's a humble examination also of self.
En tant que préfet de la Congrégation pour l'évangélisation des peuples, vous avez donc en charge les territoires de mission, mais c'est un très gros tiers des diocèses à travers le monde, c'est considérable. quelles sont, vous avez commencé à l'évoquer, mais à la fois vos plus grandes préoccupations et peut-être aussi vos joies à propos de cette mission à travers le monde? Je ne sais pas si vous avez des situations en particulier.
Yes, yes. You know, in the so-called ecclesiastical jurisdictions, under we call the competence of the propaganda fide, no, we see, first of all, extreme poverty. No, extreme poverty. And when we say poverty, it is not just lack of food or lack of, it is a whole even culture that makes some people not strive to be better, to dream big. And we see that. And you see, for example, the lack of education in some parts of our territories. No? Then you see also the growth. We talk about mondialisation, we talk about globalization. But as we talk about it, we see a lot of division. We see a lot of walls being constructed and suspicion. I belong to this group, you belong to that group. Unfortunately, some politicians take advantage of that, you know, and even use religions to divide people. Now, we see, for example, in some parts of the world, the lack of health services. And most of the health services are provided by faith-based groups. See that? But we also see a lot of human dignity. You see a lot of wisdom among the poor, a wisdom that only the poor can understand and share.
Ça, c'est votre expérience aussi qui parle.
Yes, yes. Yes, this is our experience, you know. Even me, as an archbishop, I teach, but I learn a lot from from the poor. I can talk about hope, but who live hope? It's the poor. No? I can talk about joy, but who knows true joy? Those who are in suffering, they know what true joy is. So in my work, in the propaganda, we see that, yes, we need to support through prayer, through the sharing of human resources like missionaries, teachers, catechists, the formation of human personnel, no, and even financial help for the schools, for the hospitals, for the clinics. While we do that, and must do that, through the cooperation of all the churches, we also need to stress one thing. We hope that through the propaganda fide, the voice, the testimony of the poor, the little ones, could be brought to the attention of the whole church.
C'est vrai que nous vivons dans un monde où il y a beaucoup de tensions, de guerres, on le voit même en Europe, en Ukraine. Est-ce que vous partagez cette inquiétude que beaucoup ont aujourd'hui?
Yes, 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 of course, because it seems that humanity has not learned its lesson. You know, it's sad that after 2 world wars, after the destruction of so many families, we are repeating the same things. You know? So we have to be concerned. We have to be concerned for the people who are suffering, but we have to be concerned also about ourselves. The question is, what type of humanity are we? Why do we still go the path of violence and killing?
Alors pourquoi?
Pourquoi? Yes. Why? And then when you look at especially during the pandemic and now during these conflicts, you see that there is money to produce weapons and arms, but then there are not enough money to give food, shelter, schools, medicines to people. And then you say, what type of human beings are we? What are our priorities? And as we are worried about the situation in Ukraine, there are many other conflicts that have been, in a way, forgotten. Syria, the situation in Lebanon. You mentioned Afghanistan. The worsening situation, the economic situation in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and in the Amazon area, Venezuela, and all of this. So,
mais ça fait beaucoup de misère.
Yes, beaucoup de misère. And as there is much misery, that means that the calling for much love and caring is there. Misery, suffering will grow much more if we do not also increase our caring, our humanity. No?
Et on sait que c'est le souci du pape François. Je voudrais qu'on parle, éminence, de la réforme de la Curie romaine, parce que le 5 juin 2022, à la Pentecôte, vous ne serez plus préfet de la Congrégation pour l'évangélisation des peuples. Vous laissez votre place, en quelque sorte, au pape François lui-même, puisque la réforme de la Curie, la constitution apostolique Praedicate Evangelium, place votre dicastère comme le premier des dicastères au sein de la Curie romaine, et c'est le pape qui en est le préfet. Vous serez le pro-préfet?
I don't know, because as you said, the 5th of June, the new Curia will be formed. So the Pope is free to appoint.
Vous aimeriez rentrer à Manille ou aux Philippines?
I don't know. I don't know, but you took it correctly. Well, according to the Constitution, all the dicasteries, the dicasteries, are equal, juridically equal, no? But because the Holy Father wants the whole church, not just the Roman Curia, but the whole church to be missionary, to evangelize. So he took the dicastery for evangelization and put himself as the head.
Qu'est-ce que ça va changer? Qu'est-ce que ça peut changer, d'après vous?
No, well, the one big change is the figure of the Pope. No, it's not just the figure of an administrator, a manager, but an evangelizer. It's a missionary Pope. It is not new, but the Holy Father, Pope Francis, wants it stressed. The other thing is, in the new dicastery for evangelization, there will be 2 sections. One section will study the fundamental questions of evangelization in our world today. So meaning the whole world, all the questions, Europe, Asia, Africa, Oceania, Latin America, North America, what are the fundamental questions? And some of them are related. So you need a section to study that. And then there is the second section that will still take care of the new churches, the young churches. So this is what the propaganda fide has been doing. So that will continue because, as you already mentioned, there are in Africa, in Asia, Oceania, there are still vast populations that are in need.
En quoi cette nouvelle organisation peut mieux répondre aux besoins de la mission, d'après vous?
Yes, I think so. And the Holy Father's approach is to lessen what you call bureaucracy so that the service could be faster and direct. At the same time, the service should be transparent, especially in the area of the administration of the goods, the money, the properties of the church.
Vous pensez qu'il y a encore un travail à faire dans ce domaine?
Yeah, it's an ongoing. It's not just during Pope Francis's time. No, it's already, and he is pushing it. And some of the reforms, will put what we might call the check and balance. So that because the goods of the church come from the people. So these are donations of peoples. So the people should, so the people deserve a good management of those resources.
On a longtemps dit à la Congrégation pour l'évangélisation des peuples que cette opacité était pour protéger les églises justement qui grandissaient parfois dans la clandestinité et qui avaient besoin de cette confidentialité. Vous êtes d'accord avec ça?
Yes, yes. This is one big area and so it's a very delicate matter, you know. But we want to assure the world that even if we could not publicize or talk about it, those situations are being addressed by the church.
Autre point important de la réforme engagée par le pape François, c'est la synodalité, ce chemin synodal dans lequel il engage l'Église. Cela génère des tensions, y compris dans les jeunes églises où les prêtres ont une place très importante au sein des communautés. Ces résistances sont-elles justifiées pour vous?
Yeah, well, maybe I will not call it resistance in the sense that people do not agree with it. I think it is, you know, when synodality means just we walk together. So that means we listen together to each other, and we plan together, of course, according to our different gifts and according to our different ministries. But it is a working together. Now, everyone will say that is good because that is what even the Bible says about it. But you know, years and years, hundreds of years, where this style, if you want to call it, this style, it seems that many tasks and many ministries have been concentrated in the ordained and in the hands of a few. So definitely they will say we agree, but changing cultures, changing mentalities, no, will take a while. But we just have to do it, no? We just have to do it. And we should be patient, and even if the process will not be always quick and will not yield the fruits that we are expecting now, we have to move on. No, we have to continue doing it. No?
Ouais. L'une des raisons de la transformation de l'Église, c'est aussi les abus sexuels dans l'Église qui se sont déroulés. Est-ce que le motu proprio, vous êtes la lumière du monde, est-il aujourd'hui, par exemple, en application partout sur les territoires de mission? C'est cette obligation, le pape François a demandé à ce que soient signalés tous les abus qui concernent des prêtres, des évêques a fortiori.
Yes, the motto proprio of the Holy Father has been disseminated, and the Episcopal conferences have been given a mandate to start writing their protocols in line with this. Now, and we in the propaganda, we follow up. We follow up the different Episcopal conferences, and we ask them to submit whatever they have prepared. But we also see something. Maybe in established churches, it is easier for them to form the committees, the commissions, because you have trained people. And this is where we need to assist the young churches, because some of them are just developing their psychologists. They need psychologists, they need canon lawyers, and so. But again, this we want to pursue, and this is where also the universal church would help each other. Those with expertise can help form the human resources in other parts of the world. Yeah.
On se souvient de vos larmes, Éminence, au moment notamment du sommet de 2019 à Rome contre les abus sexuels, où en parlant des victimes, de l'expérience et de la souffrance des victimes, vous avez pleuré, mais aussi au moment de votre cardinalat ou différents moments forts au synode des jeunes. Qu'est-ce que ces larmes nous disent de vous, Éminence?
Well, I guess... you know, shedding tears is part of human experience, no? when people are in love, they shed tears. No? When they are happy, they shed tears. When they suffer, they shed tears. So tears is one of the languages that can speak of many human situations. You know? So yeah, I don't know if I am just emotional, but I guess when I am in a situation, I allow myself to be affected, and so yeah. But I'm not always crying. Sometimes I laugh too.
Quelle est votre peut-être la dernière question de cet entretien, quelle est votre espérance, Éminence?
Well, my hope really is that the people of the world, and I don't mean only Christians, that the people of the world will not stop dreaming of a better life, of a better world, of a better humanity, and for themselves, dreaming of a better person, you know, and the dream would also be accompanied by humility to see where could I become better, and not to just stay there. To be better not for myself only, but for the sake of humanity. And we hope that could happen.
Merci beaucoup, Éminence, de nous avoir accordé cet entretien lors de votre passage à Lyon pour la béatification de Pauline Jaricot. Nous étions dans cette grande chapelle de Valpré où se tienne cette assemblée générale. Je remercie d'ailleurs particulièrement les œuvres pontificales missionnaires, le diocèse de Lyon et le domaine de Valpré pour leur accueil. Et n'hésitez pas à retrouver cet entretien, tout comme la programmation spéciale autour de Pauline Jaricot sur notre site ktotv.com et notre application.